Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of Formula 1 2019 Career Mode. Today we go to the Austrian Grand Prix, put on a great show in real life, so I'm hoping that we can do the same here today in the game. Last episode we actually beat our teammate Romain Grosjean. He had an awful race in France, picking up wing damage on the start, so hopefully we can have a good run here today in Austria as well. I will note real quickly that for some reason I had a recording issue with the start, so you're only going to see like the first turn with a cinematic camera of the start, and then it's going to cut right to lap 3, unfortunately, so I apologize for that. But we jumped straight to qualifying. We made it for the second race in a row to Q3. Now as we come through on my final and only attempt at Q3 as we head down into the penultimate corner, coming through, heading down into the final corner. At this point it was Valtteri Bottas on the pole position. There's the exit of the last corner, getting up on the curbs a bit. There's the cross the line though, going P8 for the moment there, as that was a pretty solid lap I felt, and then we simmed to the end and we would still go P8 as we get ready to start the Austrian Grand Prix with Valtteri Bottas qualifying on pole. So hopefully we can have a good race here in Austria.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of Turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Pierre Gasly in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Butler, the Rainmaster, Weber, Perez and Romain Grosjean, Bottas, Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo and Norris, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Alexander Albon and Daniel Kvyat. Kubica and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Great starting position for us. Let's see if we can improve on that in the race.
Alright, so we're going to be going with a one-stop here to the hard tire. I did forget to take fuel out of the car again, so that was already just a great mistake on my part. But like I said, I messed up the recording with the start. So we're only going to see a cinematic camera as we get ready. We came to the end of our formation lap, getting ready to go green as Bottas has now had a grid penalty. So it's Lewis Hamilton on the pole now. It's 5 red lights, and we are green now in the Austrian Grand Prix. The 2 Ferraris on the second row as Pierre Gasly is up in that second position as we head down towards turns 1. 3 wide up the middle between the 2 racing points now as we head down into turns 1. A little bit of contact there with Weber, but we would get through cleanly, and this was pretty much as far as we would get actually because of my fuel issue. So I was stuck in this position for the next couple laps there. Like I said, I messed up the recording for the start, so we have to jump right to lap 3 at this point, and really nothing happened thankfully now as we come through on lap 3. Butler just in front of Sergio Perez as we came through the next few corners, so running in the 8th position at the moment with Lucas Weber just behind me. So the Force India, or the Racing Point, sorry, of Perez did get past me. He was showing quite a bit of speed early on here in the Austrian Grand Prix. But we would quickly close in on Perez and Butler, who would start scrapping it out. And now as we came through on to the 4th lap, here we come up the hill in this first sector with a chance to look to the right-hand side of Butler. And we do so, and now Weber's going to make a 3 wide on the outside. As we're going to go 3 wide into the second corner, I back out of it, making sure I don't get any damage, though, as we give up that position there. And had a lot of oversteer on the exit of the corner. Quickly behind me was Valtteri Bottas closing in, who had that grid penalty. He would get past me eventually with no problems, as there was obviously no point in holding up the Mercedes 180, so I would let Bottas go, and he would be able to get past me. He would be able to just slowly work his way through the field, as he would be able to as well pass the cars up ahead, like Weber and Butler, of course. So as we came to lap 8 now, Bottas had gone past me, dropped down to P10 as the fuel was finally starting to get out of his car, so it was certainly starting to help the pace in my car. And there's a little bit of oversteer on the exit of the corner there as we were getting close to time to make our first and only pit stop of this Grand Prix here on this 8th lap. Now, it was a lap 10 or 11 scheduled stop. I think it was lap 11 that they had actually scheduled me in the strategy. But it looked like I was going to have to pit a little bit earlier because I had worn my tires quite a bit now. As now behind us, though, we have Alexander Albon having an issue there, blowing up there into the final corner, and that's going to be our first DNF of the Austrian Grand Prix. We would continue on there as Grosjean gets past it with no issues, but it looks like Grosjean might be struggling a little bit again here today. Now, as we came to lap 10, at the end of lap 10, it was time to make our first and only pit stop of the Austrian Grand Prix. There's a little bit wide there, but we get back into the pit lane now as we head down. So no one else coming to the pit lane, which I was actually expecting another few cars or so, but unfortunately we're the only ones. Actually, this could be an advantage. We might be able to do the undercut on Butler and Weber now as we head into our pit box for the first time here in Austria. It's a pretty decent stop. I think it was a 2.9 second stop, if I remember correctly, there as we exit our pit box, and it was indeed 2.9 seconds now as we exit in the 19th position behind the two Williams cars. So obviously they don't have a lot of speed, so it was not going to be an issue running down the two Williams cars who were just up ahead there at probably about 6 or 7 maybe seconds. So we had a pretty clear track in front of me, which made me feel very confident that we could at least pull the undercut on Butler and Weber, and we would sure enough close in on the Williams cars by the time we came to the 13th lap of this Grand Prix. Right on the back of Russell and Kubica, Kubica has a bit of a lockup, and that gets me right on the back of the gearbox of George Russell there as we head down the straightaway. He might make a move. We look to the left, and now Russell's going to move left there as I get up the throttle, and now Russell and Kubica go side by side down into turn 2. I'm going to try and set them up for the straightaway right here now as we're going to exit the corner, make a 3 wide there with Russell now, who gets clear of Kubica as we head down the straightaway right up behind George Russell now as we head down towards turn 3. We're going to look to the right hand side as we head into the corner. A little bit of a lock up there, but we make the pass work, and we are away from those two. So a nice little scrap with two cars that we really shouldn't be scrapping with. Thankfully, we would get away from the two Williams cars now and set our sights on the cars up ahead of Daniel Kvyat. But we would be able to quickly get to them, but they would be coming to the pit lane now on this 15th lap, as well as many other cars or drivers that would be coming to the pit lane, including Butler and Weber, the two guys we were battling with towards when we came into the pit lane. We would be successfully completing this undercut there, but now you notice in the top left, they have the medium tire and we have the hard tire, so they're going to have the faster tire, so it's going to be up to me to hold them off now as we come to lap 20. Butler had run me down at this point. Now as he looks to the right hand side as we go down into turns 2, he makes the move, but it's Devin Butler. We had a great history with him in Formula 2, and we had a run-in with him at Catalonia there in the Spanish Grand Prix, so certainly I'm not going to let him go very easily now as we head down the straightaway towards turn 3. We're going to look to the left-hand side there on Butler as we go down into turn 3. He's going to hold on to the position for the moment there now as we try to stick with him throughout the rest of this lap. So Butler with the medium tires certainly paying off now as we head down into the left-hander, but we would thankfully actually be able to maintain my pace with Devin Butler, so he would not quite get away from me now as we came through the left-hander. Now into lap 22, into the penultimate corner, heading down towards the final corner, still running in the 9th position at the moment there as Carlos Sainz actually got past Lucas Weber as well, so Weber down in P11 there as we come through to cross the line at this point. Lap 23, 14 laps to go as we close in quickly on Butler. We're going to look to the left-hand side as we head down towards turns 1. We don't make the pass work there, but now as we head down the straightaway, we have the momentum and the DRS. We look to the right-hand side of Devin Butler now as we head up the straightaway, and we're going to easily blow on past Devin Butler as we head down towards turns 2. But this battle would not quite be over yet there as we went down through turns 2. We would have the edge over Butler, but he would stick with me now as we came to lap 25 at this point. Once again, he has the run on me this time as we head up towards turn 2. He's going to make the move as we head down into the corner now. Butler trying to take over the position. He locks up, and that's going to hurt me more than it hurts him as I notice the lockup, and I just kind of overcorrect to the left just to make sure we don't hit, because that's what happened in Spain. He locked up, and then he drove into the side of me, and we obviously got pushed wide, so I didn't want that to happen again now as we go through into the next corner. So sticking once again though with Devin Butler, but this continuous battle with Butler was allowing Sainz and Weber to start to close in now as we look to the left hand side of Weber on lap 26 into turns 2, sitting behind him there as we exit the corner now out of turns 2. We're going to have the DRS there in my favor now as we head down the straightaway side by side with Devin Butler. Great battle between myself and our Formula 2 rival now as we head down towards turn 3. Butler going to try and continue to be on the outside, but we do get clear of him. And once again, take the position back from Devin Butler there. So continuing to have a great scrap here with the Renault rookie now as he came through on lap 27, another lap or so later. Butler once again within range to make a move now, but we do have a little bit more of a gap that we might be able to hold on, but continuously seeing Sainz and Weber close in on us as this battle continues. So it looks like it might become a 4-car battle soon, but now Daniel Ricciardo's having an issue as he is blowing up here with about 10 or so laps to go in the Austrian Grand Prix. So Ricciardo will be our second DNF of the Austrian Grand Prix as we would continue on. No safety car or anything now with 10 laps to go here in Austria. Butler within range still for DRS, and now as he came through on lap 31, here he is trying to make a move to the right-hand side again now as the two other cars of Sainz and Weber have gotten into this battle now as we don't have any DRS though at this point. The DRS is actually broken and the team was looking for a fix, so I had to put it up into the high ERS there as we head down towards turn 3, trying to maintain with Butler there as we get sideways there with a little bit of a lockup, and that allows me to take over the position as we nearly make contact with him. So we once again take over the position now as we came through a next lap later, lap 32, with just 5 laps to go here in Austria. Butler once again closing quickly as we head down towards turn 2, but this time he does not make the moves to my surprise now as we're 12.9 seconds ahead of 7th place of Sergio Perez as we would hold on for a moment, but now we came to another lap later. Butler once again on my gearbox, he makes a move to the right hand side of me as we go down into turns 1, and he has the edge as we nearly make contact now as we're going to try and battle back down the straightaway as we head up towards turn 2. Sainz and Weber lurking behind now as we look to the left-hand side of Devin Butler as we head down towards turns 2. Sainz might make a move, but no, he thinks better of it now as we fall in line just behind Butler, and we're going to once again try to cross him over now as we do just that as we head down the straightaway down towards turn 3, side by side once again with Devin Butler here for the position. We've been battling for probably close to 15 or so laps now as we head down into turn 3, side by side. This time we don't lock up and we take over the position again. And we would hold on for another lap until we came to 2 laps ago. Now Butler once again on my gearbox making a move down into turns 1. We're going to be side by side now down the straightaway, but he has more momentum, and now Sainz is ready to attack there with Weber lurking about just under a second or so behind now as we look to the right hand side though of Devin Butler, and Sainz is going to go on the outside there, nearly make a 3 wide. As he does make a 3 wide, we make contact with Devin Butler there with the left side of the wing, and that's going to actually give me damage on the left side of the wing now as we head down the straightaway towards turn 3. And now we have some issues as Weber, he's up in this battle now as we head down towards turn 3. Butler sends it in, and we make contact there in turn 3. As you see on the left side, the wing is yellow, so certainly dealing with some issues at this point. So as we came to the end of this lap now, approaching the white flag here in Austria. Butler just behind there as we go down into the final corner. Certainly struggling with the handling of this car, going a little bit wide now as the white flag is out. Lewis Hamilton, he is actually out front, already closing in towards the checkered flag as we head down towards turns 1 here in Austria for the final time. Now as Butler is ready to pounce as we head down the straightaway here, and Lewis Hamilton though, like I said, leading this Grand Prix, he comes through just behind the Alfa Romeo. He will come through to win the Austrian Grand Prix. Another win for Lewis Hamilton now as we head down towards turns 2. Weber sticking the nose up the inside there as we exit the corner, and we get a lot of oversteer with a chance to drive away, but unfortunately I have a bunch of oversteer keeping them close. Weber, Butler side by side as we head down towards turns 3 now, and Weber once again is going to send it in pretty deep as he locks up behind, and we hold on to the 8th position now, but he's going to battle back there as we went a little bit wide there now as Weber with a great move to the right hand side as we head down into the left hand, a little bit of a lockup as we nearly make contact with Weber now as I can barely turn. We shove him wide and he hits me in the right side, picking up more damage on the wing. Side by side with our former F2 teammate behind us, our former F2 rival, as we head down towards the penultimate corner on this final lap here in Austria. Weber just barely there, and I give him the room now as we go wide there with that wing damage. Now as we head down into the final corner, side by side once again, but we are clear, but we go wide now with oversteer, and through the grass we go, and Weber's going to battle back to come through to take over the position as we cross the line here in Austria.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you pulled through. Thank you.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
An incredible, thrilling battle there, right down to the line with Butler, Weber, and Carlos Sainz. Certainly a great finish here as we do pick up P9, so still a points finish as our teammate Roman Grosjean has another bad Grand Prix here in Austria. Obviously, France didn't go well for him now as we're about 13 points ahead of Grosjean. Actually, no, we're not. We are 7 points ahead. I read that completely wrong. So 7 points ahead of Roman Grosjean. So still a pretty close point battle with him now as we're leading the rivalry with him and Carlos Sainz. So as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very, very appreciated. There goes up the reputation with Haas, down just a tiny bit with Ferrari. Obviously, we wanted to be up as much as possible with Ferrari by the end of the season because we want to go to Ferrari possibly next season in our career mode. So in the next episode, though, we go to the British Grand Prix. Hopefully, we can run pretty strong there. It might be tough. I don't have the best track record at Britain in the past F1 game, so we'll see how it goes. So I will see you guys in the next one for Britain. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.